the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. We are always pleasure being with you in lead episodes. We have our guys, they are going to introduce themselves and we are going to ask them the question of the episode. So in this episode, the question will be how to deal with your followers, if you are a leader to your followers. So, and one of them that did something wrong, what are you going to do? So basically right now, we are going to start with our group. We have 3 of our guys here, and we're going to start with the first one. So please, each one of you just introduce yourself, and then you are going to answer right away. Go ahead.
My name's Amir Tadros.
Yes, Amir.
I think that every organization is going to always have room for mistakes. And I think that it's okay if there's going to be mistakes. I mean, that's probably something that's going to be expected. And it's always going to be there. So I think that as a leader, I mean, we could all, after a mistake, just work together and fix it so that it won't happen again.
So you are going to accept the mistake. That's what you believe in it.
Absolutely.
Even if the organization will be dropped, it's fine, right? It's
You have to be nice.
It's okay. You have to be nice. Okay. So what do you think? Introduce yourself, please.
My name is Thomas Assad, and I believe in consequences. I believe if there is an issue in an organization, or if someone did something that should not have been done, there should be consequences, and it also sets almost like an example for everyone else. Like if there was a consequence for someone who did something that should not have been done, then everyone else knows what will happen if they do the same thing.
So you believe in the consequences. So there should be some sort of threat to threat them, you know,
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to fire them, Thomas. Don't worry about that. Okay. Yes, please introduce yourself.
I'm Chris Metry.
Yes.
And I think there's always room for mistakes in an organization, but the leader should handle the person who made the mistake in a way where everyone sees the mistake that has been made and they can learn from the mistake, and so it won't happen again.
So basically you touch the base of learning. So Chris touched the base of learning, and Thomas, you believe in the consequences, and Amir, you just want to accept the mistake, just accepting the mistake, and let's deal with it, but to accept it, because there should be mistake doing, right? Okay, so what if you did a mistake in an organization? What do you expect the leader to deal with you? Like, how do you think? Like, if the leader for you and you did a mistake, what's your expectation?
Honestly, I wish it would be the same thing for me. I mean, if I make a mistake, I want to be accepted and know that I can still grow from it, and that, I mean, that's it. That's it. I'm fired if one thing happens.
Oh yeah, okay.
I should grow from it.
So Lord have mercy, you know, like.
Yes.
So basically, Lord have mercy. Okay. So what about you, Thomas?
So I'm still sticking with the same mindset. There should still be a consequence, even if it was on me. If I'm not gonna get fired from the organization, then it's completely up to me to make sure that the mistake was resolved.
So you would love the consequences, but avoid firing, okay?
Yeah.
So you'll be fine, okay. What about you, Chris?
Well, personally, I don't make mistakes in my jobs.
Yeah,
but
that's great.
If
you are fine.
if something went wrong one day, I would want I would definitely want consequences, so I know that what I did was wrong. I understand that what I did was wrong, and then so other people, like I said, would see that what was done was wrong, so they can see that they know what to do next time.
To develop themselves.
Develop, yes.
Okay, that will be great. So that's the answers of our guys for today. We are looking for the episode. So let's go to the episode to learn together how to deal with your followers to develop your organization. Thank you so much for being with us. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Always our pleasure being with you in Lead. Be the one, lead the way. Remember, in our Lead program, we ask some questions and we answer these questions so it can help us in the Lead program. The question of today is how to deal with your followers to develop your organization. Again, how to deal with your followers to develop your organization. In order to develop the organization, you need to deal with your followers by something called 3T technique. What are the 3T technique? T number 1, train. T number 2, transfer. T number 3, treat with discipline. Let's talk with the first T. The first T, which is train. How to train people? People need to be trained so that they will be moving forward. Like, for example, we have St. Paul and we have a lot of the disciples. They are well trained. We have actually one who were well trained by God, Moses. Actually, God trained Moses for 40 years. He used this T, the technique of training, so that people will be developed. A lot of organizations, the people over there, because they are not well trained, they cannot develop the organization, because you have to know that the development of people and the development of the organization is going parallel to each other. So you can't move with one and not with the other. That's why training is very important. If you are a priest, if you are a coordinator, if you are anyone in this field, you have to train people. Train the servants, train the kids, train the employee, train those who are working with you in the organization. That's the first T. The second one, transfer. Sometimes when you transfer someone from one position to another, it works well. Let's have an example. You remember Saul, who became Paul. St. Paul, he was before Saul. He was killing Christians. God transferred him from this position to another position. And he gave him training as well. So, by that way, he transferred his way. Sometimes when you transfer people from whatever they are doing to something else, they are doing a great job. They are doing more professional job. The transferring is something very important. Even in departments, you see that in hospitals, churches, everywhere. Sometimes you have a servant. He's talented in something, he can do something, but when you transfer him or her to something else, they can develop more and they can lead the organization to better development. Number 3, the third T, is treat with discipline. Treat with discipline is something called 2 yellow cards and 1 red card, like the soccer technique, you know, like to give 2 yellow cards and then the third one will be the red card. Red card is not, definitely we are in the church, we are not going to threat anyone or like kick someone out. We can't do that. But the only thing we can treat with discipline is to give some sort of guidance. So, you know what? If you did this again, that will be the consequences. And if you did it twice, that will be the consequences. Maybe the consequences, you are going to leave the service for a while. You will not be a servant. By the way, this is something healthy for the servant and for the congregation, for his salvation. Because if he is keep doing something that's actually affecting the organization, that's not something recommended. Accordingly, you need at that moment to put him in some sort of discipline, and maybe the discipline that you are not going to serve for some time. He's not going to leave the church. And if he left the church, that's his problem or her problem. Because being in the church, we are here for our salvation. To serve is something add-on, that we are serving God through the talents which He gave us. But at the end of the day, it's service. If the service is going to hurt others, if the service is going to make others in a miserable way, definitely there should be some sort of treating others with discipline. This service should be treated in a way so that they will stop doing what they are keep doing. This is something very important for us to know. So accordingly, we got today to reach to the 3T technique, which is to deal with the followers in the organization, to develop the organization. T, number 1, train. T, number 2, transfer, change. T, number 3, treat with discipline. We saw that in Moses, as we mentioned, in St. Paul, and in Saul in the Old Testament. He had a lot of like, you know, you have to take care of this. Saul, you have to take care of that. Till the point that they removed him from the organization, or God moved him from the organization to avoid hurting others, as was exposed at that time. You have to know that we are here to serve. and in order to serve others. That's the servant leadership which we are always focusing about. Whoever desire to become great among you shall be your servant. Mark 10:43. This is something very important you have to remember all the time. Be the one, lead the way. Today your homework is, please bring a piece of paper and write TTT. Train, transfer, and treat with discipline. And write the names in your organization, in your class, in your team, who should be trained well to develop, who should be transferred so that the organization will be more developed, who needs some sort of discipline for better development to him or to her and to the organization as well. God bless all of you. Looking forward to seeing you in our next episode. Thank you so much. To lead you must serve, inspire by your example. To teach you must learn. Before your visions are reality, walk what you preach so you can lead the way. To lead you must listen, be open to new ideas, admit your mistakes, to earn the trust of all who follow. Walk what you preach so you can